Okay, grants my answer. Okay, this is somewhat. Okay, it could be more frustrating. This is a very heated topic. Okay, you need to understand. I'm feeling stressed even having this topic with you. You know, I am a 16th Cherokee, and some of my, well, actually, I was going to say some of my ancestors, but who knows? Some of my relatives, but my Cherokee ancestor never actually left, never actually left the Smoky Mountains, in the Trail of Tears. But Custer was killing whole villages, women and children. You know, the rules of war were not followed. They were mowed down, many of these tribes, innocently. And so it's emotional to even talk about it, but I'm giving you a chance. But it's really annoying when you're like, oh look, now you're pinned down to actually, yeah, I made you say about a case by case basis because you're using some Hollywood thing about how it was all of it was right because the Indians had this particular philosophy when there's really hundreds of cultures and you well, but they were all pretty much the same and they were just like hippies. That's how I think of them, just like hippies. Yeah, I wonder why. You didn't say that, but that's how you're thinking of them. Hey, hippies are from the West. Okay, you got that? Hippies from the West, not Indians. Yeah, no, that's not what Indians are like. Yeah, no, but they had long hair and they didn't shave necessarily that much. They weren't hippies. Okay, they were Indians, Native Americans. Uh, I guess they weren't Indians either, strictly speaking, except for, of course, that is what that means as well. But I'm not worried you're going to get me into a position where, well, golly, he's right. They did deserve to die. I'm not worried about that. Please believe me. I'm not in any fear of that. If you could show that, why would it worry me exactly? You're confused about the universality thing because you're getting confused. See, I was saying that see, you're the principle of universality is that what if everybody did something? That's not the same as what I'm doing. I'm saying she should be consistent. When she makes a universal principle of her own, that's supposed to apply within the whole realm of the universe she was talking about. So, like, human rights apply to humans, and you're getting confused about the application of a principle that is supposed to be objective in a consistent manner, in a fair manner. You're confusing the call for fairness with Kant's principle of universality, and I have described to you several times the differences because I've actually studied Kant. And I know you objectivists have, a big Kant stick up your ass and you just go on and on about him, but it's really too bad because you don't understand him. And you hold him up as the icon of liberalism or something. Who knows what the fuck was in Rand's head? It doesn't really matter. Just any spray thing. I don't understand why every freaking crazy little pet peeve she had got promoted to the level of objective truth. Grants in my pants, live in a little fantasy world if you want. I'm trying to have a more or less fair conversation with you. I say more or less because, if it goes off in some of these tangents, well, screw you. I don't have to be nice to you about this bullshit. You're telling me if I believe in Kant? I fucking know whether I believe in Kant's philosophy or not. And I have no reason to believe in it and then say I don't believe in it. It's just purely information, like, hey, for your information, no, here's why I don't believe in that particular principle. And there's some similarities. Well, fine. Maybe read about some other philosophers, so you don't have to say, well, you're still like Kant because he's the only philosopher I know, so that's the one you're closest to, or something. No, I'm not worried that you're going to convince me that it's okay to kill women and children just to attack a village. Oh, did that never happen? Well, why don't you read about Custer's little career there before he got his rightful comeuppance, okay? I'm not worried about that at all, okay? I'll tell you, I'm worried that by talking to you, I am talking to an apologist for murder. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that to talk to you about this subject is to take part in in um, in in the apologia of it all. And I'm pretty sure that's not what I'm doing. But if I'm worried about anything, it's that. Okay, I'm not worried that, oh, no, you're going to show. Yeah, you think you got me to. Okay, now I, Grants in the Pants, have proven that it's based on the circumstances of what the news. Yeah, it is based on the circumstances. If you could show me, say, colonist family or group goes out somewhere where there seemed to be space and they didn't kick anybody away. There's room for that. I believe in the West, and then how they were just attacked. Then I would say, well, yeah, when that guy pulled out his gun and started shooting the Indians that were coming at his family, fine, case by case basis, just like everything. That's what my argument started out. That you forced me into the position I wanted you to be there with me in, where it's case by case. Now you have to go argue case by case. And it's obvious you don't know shit about the cultural beliefs of all of these Native Americans. You have one little half-formed idea of that they all supposedly had that basically is they're like hippies and commies. No. All this bullshit. I mean, basically, um, all your attempts to objectively describe them as inferior are pathetic. Well, they didn't have an idea of property because they just had enough space. They figured they'd be warlike and nomadic. They aren't all warlike. They aren't all nomadic. And you think you forced me into the position of finding out that, oh, it's going to be a case-by-case basis. So now go do that case-by-case basis. And then, and then, also really work up that thing about how the colonists were on the right track, or I don't really get that. They were just they were collectivists and they believed in God and believed in manifest destiny, but somehow but they were kind of somewhat more, they were your ancestors, so I guess they were closer to producing you than the Native Americans were. So they were closer to being as objective as now they have become through evolving into you, I guess. I just can't believe you can't see how transparently self-serving your argument is. I think I'm much more honest because I'm not sitting here saying we're going to give the country back. I say it's stolen, okay? And I say that my government, and by proxy, and everybody that's benefited from that government, has some blood on their hands. I think that's the more brave thing. I mean, I'm willing to admit it and still say, yeah, this is my country. I still intend to live here and have a place for my kids to live here. So let's work it out, but not through denial, basically. I don't know. You're probably going to get too frustrated to continue this. I practically am. If you're going to fucking tell me about that old bastard Kant, I do not like Kant. Okay. There's benefits to him. He was a smart man for his age and played a role in history and all that, and he's worth reading, very much worth reading, and I think understanding things like the categorical imperative are important, but no, I'm not Kantian, and I'll tell you what my philosophy is, and if you are going to trap me and say, oh, but you're using this principle, be more expert. It can't just be with the Kant bat. You're a Kantian. You guys have the freak out thing with Kant, okay? Me, I mostly have forgotten about him. He's part of a previous generation of philosophy on the other side of that threshold.